Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Soccer Podcast, Australia's #1 soccer talk show. My name's Shannon, and for this episode, we're asking Alex Smith and myself, is Gonzalo Higuain a good fit for Chelsea? Alex, welcome to the Soccer Podcast.
Thanks, man. Looking forward to talking about your team today.
Now, it's been a while since we last spoke. I'm only joking. We're bombing out episodes for all our fans.
Yeah, well, I'm really enjoying it, and the fans seem to be loving it, so that's good.
That's right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Gonzalo Higuain. That's who we're talking about today. Is he a good fit for Chelsea, in your opinion, Alex?
I think long term probably not. I don't think he's suited to the Premier League. He's a quality striker when he's fit, and when he's happy. Playing in Italy seems to suit him quite well. Got a really good goal scoring record at Real Madrid. But short term, I think it's probably the pick of the lot in terms of it's only a loan. It's not going to get any worse than what Morata's been doing. So I think it's probably a good piece of business. I'm not sure how Milan feel about it, but they're obviously willing to let him go. So. I think short term it's probably a good choice for Chelsea. However, long term I don't think he'll last. He may struggle this year even. So we'll see.
We will see, but I think the move is very much imminent. I hear now. But Gonzalo Higuain, I'm very excited for Chelsea because I think what he'll bring to the team is goals, and that's what Chelsea are obviously lacking. I think they're getting a world-class striker. And he's obviously experienced. He's played at some big football clubs. At Real Madrid, you said it, he was the main man up front. He left Real Madrid and went on to play at Napoli, where he had his best ever season. And he actually played under, obviously, the Chelsea manager now, Maurizio Sarri. So they know each other very well. And that's obviously why Sarri's gone and got him, is because they worked so well together at Napoli. And, it's been obviously a big draw card, the Premier League, Chelsea working under a manager that you've already worked so well with. But I just think they're getting a world-class striker, Alex. I mean, this guy, at Real Madrid, main man at Juventus, look at the amount of goals that he scored there. But he did struggle, obviously, a little bit at AC Milan, and maybe that's the reason why AC Milan are willing to let him go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's. I don't know if I'd call him world class. I'm not ready to put him in that category yet. I just think there's always a doubt there about him. There's always something missing, whether or not he's unfit or he doesn't really put in defensively or whatever it is. I just worry about him and Premier League defenders. They don't really mess around, and he probably won't be used to the type of physicality that he's about to get playing for Chelsea.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. I mean, his physicality, let's talk a little bit about that. Strength-wise, I don't think he'll struggle, in terms of holding the ball up. I think he's accustomed to doing that everywhere he's been. But, one of the... what gets talked about a little bit is his weight. He does seem to have a bit of, weight on him, and that was something that was talked about before his move to Juventus. But yeah, I mean, I think in the Premier League he might just struggle for that reason. I mean, the opposition defenders are very, very strong, very, very quick. And the Premier League, we know to be end-to-end stuff, a lot of counter-attacking football. We saw, for example, in the Wolves-Leicester game just on the weekend, how many times momentum can shift in the game. And, I think at Chelsea, I think he'll get the service. There's no question about that. The players in behind him, with like Hazard and Pedro, Willian, Jorginho as well, will note, and Conte will obviously get the ball to him. And in my opinion, he is a world-class striker. But I think with the service in mind, I think he will get goals. But obviously the Premier League, we know, Alex, it's a different ball game altogether to the Serie A. The Serie A is more tactical, and it's probably a little bit slower as well. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think any team, no matter who you are, have to, all 11 players have to put a shift in defensively. And I just don't know if he he brings that to the team. I think the pace is going to, really surprise him. And another thing I have to factor in is the weather. He spent the better part of 8 or 9 years living in Spain and Italy. Suntanning on the beaches of Madrid on the decks and rooftops in Madrid and sipping lattes in Turin and all sorts of stuff like that. And I just got back from England and it is cold. And I think people underestimate when players come in from abroad, especially South America. They underestimate how long it takes to actually acclimatize yourself to that cold weather, and you kick the ball and your feet just it stings. I think he may have a bit of a rude awakening and a rude shock if they've as the old saying goes, have to go play Stoke on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, we both obviously mentioned that he might struggle. I mean, you never know. I mean, even world-class top players come to the Premier League and they find that acclimatisation difficult. There's no question about that. But let's talk a little bit about then. He can't be worse, surely, than an Alvaro Morata. He's leaving Chelsea, I think, on loan to maybe Atletico Madrid. There's been some reports about that. And Olivier Giroud as well, a different kind of player altogether. All those strikers, Giroud, Morata, Higuain, they all bring different qualities. But I would say that Higuain out of three would be the most lethal, the most potent, instinctive finisher in front of goals. And I think that can only help Chelsea. That's what they've been missing at Alex this season.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, Chelsea's obviously fairly good. I think they've conceded the second least amount of goals in the Prem. So defensively, I don't think that's where their issues lie. I think it's definitely in that attacking third. Look, obviously, it could go one of two ways. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a bit of a shock for him, considering where he's played his career, and the type of football that he's used to over a long period of time. I just worry a little bit about, and he just seems like he's got the mentality that sometimes he's a little bit fragile, and the weight issues and all that sort of stuff. He just I don't know. I think there's a little bit of doubt in my mind, but you can't argue with his goal scoring record. So I think it's from Chelsea's point of view, I think it's probably the best piece of business they could have done in January. So and obviously having played with Sarri as well or under him, that's a big plus. So interested to see how it all works out.
Yeah, me too. Time will tell. But we want to hear from you guys at the Soccer Podcast. What are your thoughts? Do you think Gonzalo Higuain is a good fit for Chelsea? We've spoken already, Alex, about what he'll bring, the world-class striker, probably goals, his ability to hold up the ball, bring other players in, that link-up type of play. Obviously, there are questions, but we want to hear from everyone else. We do value your feedback. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you for this episode again.
No worries, man.
And everyone else, that brings us to the end of today's episode. But make sure if you enjoyed it to smash the thumbs up button. Follow us on Instagram at The Soccer Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But from The Soccer Podcast, Australia's #1 soccer talk show, it's goodbye for now.